Hello,
Hey,
Lance and Steve. We're live here to chat with you.
live on Thursday morning.
That's right. Yeah, so Lance and Steven
Lance and
in the
Steven in the
morning.
morning. Oh, we missed it. We
We
missed it.
sucked at
That was awful. That was
that.
terrible.
Want
Oh,
to do
we
it
got to work
again?
on that. We got to improve that.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Lance and
Lance and
Steven
Steven in the
in the
morning.
morning.
What the heck? That was terrible.
We
Okay,
might have
we
to
got to work on
record
that for next week.
that.
If we're
Um,
gonna if we're gonna blatantly rip something off, we've got to at least do it well.
do it really well. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so for those who aren't aware of why we picked that name, well, that's a community reference for those who watch that show, and props to Donald Glover and Danny Pudi, who
That's
played
right.
Troy and Abed.
Community, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so this is us just hopping on Thursday morning.
yep.
I mean, we just assume people have free time on a workday morning to
Hey, you got to
uh,
have your coffee break,
yeah,
right?
coffee break, totally. Uh, oh, we got a comment here. So if you're commenting from the Facebook group, we can't see who it is unless you give permission. But whoever this is, we're
Rhett and
doing the
Link.
next Rhett and Link. I don't know what that is. I don't know that reference.
I've heard those names, but I'm not familiar who they are. Yeah, no, we're definitely not Rhett and Link. I think like I said, we're trying to go more Troy and Abed, but
That's right. Yeah. And hello, Marie Lightfoot. Thanks for
hey
finding us
Marie,
funny. And
yeah.
Amanda's listening too, and she's enjoying hearing all angles of it.
Oh, and she's getting surround sound.
That's right. Yeah, so we're here with no agenda other than to just try and brighten your morning.
That's right.
Um, Crystal is suggesting we really need to go check out Rhett and Link. So
Yeah,
we'll see. Yeah, I'll give that a Google search later.
we're like the most uncool pastors in the history of the church, probably. We're
More
young and we don't
absolutely.
have a clue about pop culture,
Yeah,
which is
absolutely.
awful,
Yeah.
terrible.
No, I find out about things like 10 years too late, and then my wife razzes me brutally.
Yeah. Well, like Amanda's talking about this Beyonce lady. Who's this? Like,
Beyonce. Yeah,
yeah,
you
okay.
and
At least
Glenn are right up there.
I know Beyonce. I'm not I don't live under a rock. So
Yeah.
despite what my children may think.
uh, so as we're hanging out here, feel free to comment. We can see your comments. Ask us questions if you have questions or anything you'd like us to interact with.
Yeah.
But Steve, you have something for us today. Being you are a born and bred Newfoundlander,
Born and bred
aka
true blue.
a Newfie, spelled F-I-E, not
Yeah.
F-Y.
No, we
Uh,
don't want you to be offensive.
very offensive. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've apologized for misspelling it. But we actually have a lot of Newfoundlanders, aka Newfies, in
Yep.
Grand Prairie.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, they're beautiful. You're a beautiful people. My favorite thing about Newfoundlanders is when they meet each other and they've never met before, but they know each other through like 2 degrees of separation, no matter
Yeah.
who it is. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you know so and so. Oh, yeah, that was my babysitter. Oh, that was my
Yeah.
teacher. And oh, I live
Yeah.
a street down. And then you're like best friends. I think
Yeah.
that's wonderful. So,
Well, yeah, I mean, we've got one up because I mean, Kevin Bacon was it 6 degrees of separation for Kevin Bacon? Was that Game or something?
what,
Do you
really?
remember that? Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a whole game in Hollywood or whatever, like 6 degrees of
Oh, yeah,
separation.
yeah, yeah.
Kevin
No,
Bacon.
it's a fun game.
Newfoundlanders, three degrees of separation at most,
Or less, yeah.
or less.
Yeah. So this is Tate. We found out, and he thinks we're the best and coolest pastors in
The
church
best
history.
two. Yeah.
But I mean, Amanda and
It's just
Danica are laughing at us. Oh, boy.
because they really know.
They know the truth. Yeah. But yeah, anyway, you have a Newfie phrase of the day for us.
Newfie phrase of the day.
So what is it, Steve?
Newfie phrase of the day. You're not easy.
All right.
You're not easy.
You're not easy. So
Yeah. What do you think?
If,
for those who are not Newfoundlanders, if I'm to say you're not easy, what do you think I'm saying to you?
and is there a certain like lilt or accent you'd say it with?
You're not easy.
Yeah, just like that.
You're not easy.
Yeah.
Or if you're Janice's mother, she drops the your. Not easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
the your
like
is
really
implied.
slanging it up. Yeah.
The your is just implied. Not easy.
You're not easy.
Yeah. What do you?
No one's taking a stab at it.
Nobody wants to take a stab at that one.
My assumption is it doesn't have anything to do with loose moral character.
No,
That's
no,
not
it doesn't.
quite.
It doesn't have anything to do with loose morals. No.
Sure. Okay. Just to be clear.
You're not easy. Oh, Lance, you're not easy.
Oh, Crystal is wondering, you're upset?
No, it's not that you're upset. Lance just made
difficult?
a comment then. No, so you're not you're difficult. No, it's actually the opposite. So when you're losing an argument with your wife, you're not easy. Yeah, it could be used in that phrase, but not in an angry way. Stubborn, no. It's so you're not easy is actually a compliment. It's actually a compliment. You're basically you're kind of impressed with something they've done or something they've said or accomplished or whatever, and so that's that's kind of the phrase you would throw out there. Yeah, boy, you're not easy. Meaning I'm impressed at what you just said or did or whatever. So it's actually kind of the opposite of what you would think.
Yeah, it's that's would not be intuitive for me.
No.
However, I would not have come upon that.
Well, and this is what's funny. Like with a lot of these Newfie phrases, it's not intuitive, but we grew up with it, and so we don't even think twice about it until we start to digest the words, and we're like, that actually doesn't even make sense.
Fantastic.
But we understand it. It's weird.
Well, we'll come
Marie,
at
you're
you
not easy.
again later, or next week. We'll do another Newfie phrase. Yeah, Danica figures that bizarre. Yeah,
Marie could tell George. Sorry, it's Marie is Louise. I'm thinking of. But yeah, you could tell. You could say to someone, "You're not easy. You're not easy.
You're not easy." Yep.
Yeah.
I'll say that to my wife now all the time. Man, hon, you're not easy.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you to all you, our Newfie audience. We love you, and thank you. From those of us who are from away, I know that one.
From away, yep.
Us who are from away, we thank you. Yeah. So, Steve, what's on our brains today?
Well, it's Easter coming up.
Yeah, Easter. Good Friday's tomorrow.
Good Friday is tomorrow.
Yeah.
An end to Lent for those who have been observing. Chloe's been doing the Lent thing. Gave up sweets through Lent, so that's quite impressive. She's suffering through it. Yeah, some days have been harder than others, but yeah. So that's coming to an end, and Easter is coming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
I was just refreshing myself on Easter traditions from around the world.
Yeah.
And one I knew about but forgot, and I'm not sure. I think it's in like certain like Latin American cultures, but there are some who celebrate Easter by actually reenacting Christ's crucifixion. So they actually like
They actually get
crucify
crucified.
themselves.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. That's
like
crazy.
yeah, and I guess like the church worldwide is condemns that practice or whatnot, but
Yeah.
like that's a tradition in some places.
Yeah.
Hey, we
Yeah.
brighten up. I hear what you're saying, honey, about not being easy. We brighten people's day.
That's good.
Yeah.
Oh, her Lent is coming to an end because she'd given up Coke for Lent.
What? So when officially do you get to like break the fast?
So I'm not 100% certain.
No, they
Did
don't
they
actually
actually
die.
die?
No,
Yeah. No,
it's a
I'm not 100% sure.
modified crucifixion.
Some people break it on Saturday, I think.
Hmm.
But some wait till Sunday. I've traditionally waited till Sunday
Is
when
that the
I've
idea that it's like Resurrection Sunday is
well, that's how I've viewed it, right? Now I don't know what the actual because I didn't grow up in a church that observed Lent. You know, grew up in a Pentecostal church and we didn't really observe any of those liturgical seasons or whatever, but
yeah,
it's something that I've kind of enjoyed exploring a little bit as I get older and appreciate more the theology behind why they did some of those things
mm,
and the
mhm,
thinking behind it. I think there's some beauty in some of that, right?
mhm.
You know, but yeah. So the crucifixion, you can talk about that. You brought it up. Did they actually die when they're crucified?
No, they don't. Yeah, it's a modified crucifixion where I think they still do the impalement
They
parts
do,
of it.
yeah. They nail their
Uh,
hands and stuff, right?
yeah, I think it's just their hands.
Yeah,
But yeah, they and obviously they it's 'cause so part of crucif wow, never didn't think we'd be talking about this today, but the mechanics of a crucifixion in ancient times would have been you're nailed to this beam of wood, but what kills you is the suffocation because of the
asphyxiation.
way the way your body weight is hanging down and your arms are up. You can't breathe. And then if they need to speed it
Yeah.
along, they stabbed you or broke your legs. Uh, broke your legs.
Well, yeah, because that's actually in the Bible, right? They went around to break the legs of the Jesus and the thieves, and they didn't have to break Jesus' legs because he was already dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, uh, not sure who this is, but their Alexa said
So Thursday
Thursday.
it ended. So today it ends.
Okay.
Monday,
So
Thursday.
so Amanda, crack that Coke, girl.
Yeah, I find it strange because I've always waited till Sunday because in my mind, Jesus, in the crucifixion, we want to feel the weight of the grief of our sin being laid upon him and
Yeah.
all of that. I mean, the disciples were completely at a loss from Friday to Saturday and into Sunday.
Mhm.
They had no idea what was happening.
Yeah.
And so I've always waited until Sunday because I kind of want to feel that, go through that emotion again, right?
Yeah.
And the aspect of not Good Friday isn't, yeah, we know what happens, so now it's celebratory, but in that moment of it's it doesn't feel celebratory, right?
Yeah. Well, and for a lot of traditions, Good Friday, and that's the funny thing. Like it's called Good Friday because the good part of it is Jesus dying on our behalf and that he
Yeah,
is rising again.
yeah,
But it's actually traditionally it's a very somber day
yeah,
where you're reflecting on his death. And then Sunday you reflect on, and so lots of people from different traditions I'd say are quite strict even with Good Friday.
yeah.
It
Well,
shouldn't
well,
be celebratory. It should
no.
be quite
Well, and
somber.
I think if I'm not mistaken, the Catholic Church even today, um, traditionally won't eat meat on Good Friday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I also learned, so again, Good Friday traditions. Apparently in Ireland, uh most places won't serve alcohol
Oh, okay.
on Good Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like it's just that's how they pay respect to the day.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting.
So all over the world. And
Yeah.
Australia doesn't have chocolate Easter bunnies. They have chocolate like their little rats or whatever that they have there.
I never understood the Easter bunny anyway. I mean, what is that like, a bunny that delivers chocolates and eggs and stuff? Like what, like
Well, I've not
that's
found anything conclusive, so interesting reading.
yeah.
But I think a lot of it ties into many cultures over
Yeah.
the ages having um, a lot of traditions about spring and
Yeah.
the return of life to the planet and nature. And
Yeah.
so the rabbit being one of these creatures that once the warm weather comes, they start, well, breeding
Populating.
like
Yeah.
rabbits, and that as just a powerful image in nature of life returning.
Sure.
And so what
Well,
a yeah.
no, that's interesting. You know, in talking that, and I don't want to go down a deep theological because I want us to go back to some lighter topics again. But you know, in people would say, well, that's proof that Christianity has actually just usurped the traditions of other things, and you've put Easter at whatever. But you know, um, Easter is actually tied to Passover, which is the ancient Jewish celebration of their deliverance from Egypt, which pointed ultimately to what God was going to do. And so, what I find interesting is that the people who would say, oh, because the other cultures have these things that have some similarities, that's proof that Christianity is not real. Whereas I look at it that actually that's probably proof that it is real because God had birthed already in the hearts of men what he's going to do. And it's by nature itself that testifies to who he is and what he's going to do. And we read that in the scriptures. And
Mhm.
so I actually look at that other cultures and traditions have some similarities in these things. It's because there's an element of the truth of what God has done and what he was going to do. And it was revealed and clearly made plain through his creation,
Mhm.
which to me it doesn't rob my belief. It actually reinforces it for me. But
Yeah, I actually love, and we as a family even are trying to celebrate lots of different like cultural ways of celebrating, like when winter's coming and just like putting to rest the garden and all that stuff. And then when spring is coming, just celebrating because I I think it's powerful that there are so many different cultural expressions for uh life
mm,
returning, and to pair that with a celebration of Jesus
yeah,
coming back from the dead, resurrection, life, and renewal, right? I think it's
yeah.
cool.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's awesome. You know, it's very cool.
yeah,
Because God, I think God has used his creation and the seasons and all that stuff to testify to who he is and the
yeah,
story
totally.
of salvation. Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool. So
There you go. A
last week
little
we said,
history lesson.
yeah, but last week we'd said, 15-minute mark. We're at 19-minute mark here now.
Right.
We do a
Relate.
little reveal.
That's
So
right.
you stumbled upon a very cool reveal this
Well,
week.
yeah, my wife did. So
Oh, your
Danica
wife, yeah.
tells me this morning
Well,
that
props to Danica.
yeah, props to Danica for every good thing I do comes from her. Um, and I have to really make sure I give her credit for it because it comes from her. But she stumbled upon this morning that the city of Grand Prairie did research into whether we actually can still be called the Grand Prairie can still be called Swan City
Yeah.
because of the migration patterns of the trumpeter swan. And so they did research and discovered that we actually are no longer home of the trumpeter swan. And so they had some discussions and everything and decided to make rename the city to match the appropriate bird that would call Grand Prairie home. And so this is this is what they this is what they came upon.
Wow. We're the
Seagull City. Yeah,
Seagull City.
yeah.
That
So
that's really sad.
yeah. Well, I mean, call a spade, right? It's
Have you seen the flocks of these things up here around Crystal Heights and stuff? Man, alive
oh, they're
for Crystal
everywhere. Yeah.
Landing, is it?
Yeah,
Man,
totally.
alive.
My favorite is seeing all those buildings that have the like bird trap things, the little spikes on their like eaves to discourage birds from nesting and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
And the seagulls are all sitting around them like they don't care. That's my favorite. Hey, we got some comments coming in. So morning to you,
Good morning
Genevieve.
to Jen.
Hello, Crystal. What you say? What you said about oh, that's cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that was something Darian, my sister-in-law, was sharing. Yeah, spring is happening underneath the snow and everything. We can't see it, but it's coming. It's cool.
Mm.
I should name it Windy City. And yeah, so Crystal's onto it. It's April Fool's.
April Fools.
This is which
I thought,
what I
I thought that
appreciate
was
our
pretty good.
city. Yeah,
I thought
that's
that was pretty
fun.
good. Yeah, having a bit of fun.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. So yeah, so we're still Swan City, but I would love. I actually like the logo. I think why not
Seagulls.
celebrate the seagulls? Yeah,
Oh,
why not?
garbage gulls. We used to call them. So my hometown was inland, so we weren't on the coast, but we would have a lot of seagulls too. But they used to hang out at the dump, right? So we used to call them the garbage gulls.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, they're basically winged rats for sure.
Winged rats, beach
Well, yeah,
chickens.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, but I mean, they're not too bad. They're pretty fun. Yeah. So that yeah, a little bit of April Fools there. Which I was just saying to Steve earlier, I'm actually not a fan of April Fools, really. Yeah, it's true, Crystal. We do see way more gulls than
Yeah,
swans
yeah.
or geese, even, right?
I think I've seen 2 or 3 swans, maybe, but I see a lot of geese and gulls.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What's the Enneagram 5? And oh yeah, I am an
He,
Enneagram 5.
he is an Enneagram 5, Andrea. That's
Yeah, I love
yeah.
to know all things. That's true.
What do you think? What do you think my Enneagram number is?
Yeah, what's Steve's Enneagram number? Yeah, French fry thief.
French fry thieves. Tate said, "Yeah, should be pigeon."
I agree. Yeah, make it a pigeon. Yeah, what is I forget your Enneagram number,
Oh
Steve.
yeah.
But for those of
No.
you who don't know, the Enneagram is uh awesome personality, not even just personality, but like inner workings test and
Well, it has to do with
system.
like motivations, right?
Yeah, like what kind of motivations and personality and ways of operating you are. So I'm a 5, so I'm the investigator. I'm all about finding things out and just knowing things. And yeah, it's I can't explain it super well. Maybe one of you can comment a really good explanation of it, and I'll put that up.
Yeah.
Hey, hello, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, sorry. What's your Enneagram, Steve?
I'm a 1. I'm not sure what that is though, because I never read the book. Yeah, I'm a 1.
Uh, what's a 1? Danica, are you watching? What's a 1? I
I'm a
think the 1
one with
is
a 9 wing. I did the
a
test.
I think a 9 is the oh, I don't know. I don't know what they
I
all
don't.
are.
I'm not sure.
It is cool. I can tell you.
There's actually
Just
an app.
Google it.
Yeah, there's actually an app you can download on your phone. I think it's called the Ennea app. ENNEAAPP or something. Yeah. And there's a free version. You can get more information if you get the paid version or whatever. But I think it's the official Enneagram thing, right?
So the 1 is the reformer, so rational, idealistic type, principled, purposeful, self-controlled, perfectionist.
Yeah.
2 is the helper, demonstrative, generous, people-pleasing, possessive. Achiever is number 3, success-oriented, pragmatic, adaptive. 4 is the individualist, sensitive, withdrawn, expressive, dramatic, temperamental. 5, the investigator, intense, cerebral, perceptive, innovative, secretive, and isolated. That's one of the things I need to work on is I'm drawn to withdraw from people, and I need to work on not
Well,
being.
and this is what's cool with the
That's
Enneagram,
peacemaker.
right? Oh, 9 is peacemaker. Yeah, the cool thing with the Enneagram, it talks about, it's not just this is the thing. It's these are some of the healthy versions of that and unhealthy versions of it, right?
Yeah. 6 is the loyalist. That's my wife. Committed, security oriented, engaging, responsible, anxious, suspicious. The enthusiast, number 7, busy, fun loving, spontaneous, versatile. The challenger, number 8, powerful, self confident, decisive, willful, confrontational. And yeah, the peacemaker, easygoing,
9.
self effacing, receptive, reassuring, agreeable. Yeah.
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 It's a really cool test. Check it out. There's a great book. Ooh, let me see. I can pull it up. A picture of it actually. A fabulous book you should read about it. It's really helpful for just understanding a little bit more about yourself. Which who doesn't want that, right? Well, I mean, I don't know. Some of us don't want to know any more about ourselves.
I don't need to know anything more about my dysfunction. Thank you very much.
Freaks me out. But this is a great book. You should totally invest in. It's really great at just understanding it. The cool thing about having a deeper understanding of yourself and your motivations and inner workings like this is it just when you can name so much of what you're feeling and experiencing, I think it just helps so much more to be able to become a healthier person and to have healthier relationships with people. So that's my pitch for it. So wow, this is like a variety show, Steve.
Variety show, man. We've talked Easter, we've talked April Fools, we've talked Enneagram. Wow.
Talk newfies and newfie phrases, and man,
there was one thing we were going to talk about that we haven't, and we should before we say goodbye here, is Easter Sunday at our church, congregational singing.
That's right. Yeah, we're bringing it back.
Bringing it back.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, there are guidelines around it. We're asking that you would be wearing a mask if you're going to choose to sing. We want you to be wearing a cloth mask, and wearing it properly.
And lest anyone think that, oh, I think Steve froze.
Just asking you to do that, right?
Yeah,
and even if it's just for that 15 minutes, 20 minutes of worship,
Yeah, and lest anyone think that this is something we rushed into, we super have not.
No.
We've spent, as a church, we've worked really hard, I think, to be maybe over cautious in just how we're approaching things with COVID-19, and I really appreciate that. Like I want the community to know that we see ourselves as in this with you. We're in this together, just trying to make everything we do safe for everyone that comes, and
totally.
Yeah, and so we are bringing it back, but with conditions and things that we're doing to make sure that it's safe for everyone. So yeah,
and we won't have a live worship team this Sunday as well. It's still pre-recorded worship with our actual worship leaders and musicians and whatnot, which we've been doing the whole time.
Yeah,
but we're still not there at that point for live streaming for those who are still watching at home and not quite able to come back. And we want to continue to give a good quality of our live stream too. I mean, we've got to the point where we're not pre-recording sermons and stuff, and we're actually live streaming through the service. And so we want to continue with that vein, right?
Yeah. And I like the way we're explaining it is that we're adding singing back into our worship.
Yeah.
And I think that's important because we've all along been communicating that we've not
Totally.
stopped worshiping. Worshiping is not about singing; it's about honoring God. Singing is just a way we express that. But yeah, I think that's an important message for
Totally.
us to understand.
Well, and that is, one of the things that we've been communicating too, right? Is that singing is a major form of worship that we see in the scriptures.
Yeah.
But in God's eyes, the worship that He desires is walking in humility and obedience to Him and loving your neighbor. All of these things are forms of worship that glorify Him, right? And so, I think we've had a year to be able to kind of pour into those aspects and realize that worship isn't just what we do on a Sunday. It's a whole life attitude and heart towards the Father, right?
Yeah, and I'd even say too, and I read this in my message on Sunday, but if you check out Isaiah chapter 1, God's criticism of His people in that is that um, they were still going through all the forms of worship that they had at the time, and God was saying, I don't care about that actually, because what's missing is that you don't have a heart of compassion and justice, and you're not caring for the vulnerable. And I think that's true of our day too, that there's a lot going on in our communities and around the world, that the church needs to be people of grace and compassion, and like defending and standing up for people's rights and stuff, and protecting the vulnerable. And that's the kind of worship God loves is when we're being people like Jesus in the world around us.
Yeah.
We got a technical question here.
Watching on the phone.
Can't see the conversation thread. I don't know.
I am not 100% sure. Could be.
We're getting comments from a few different sources. We're getting some from our Facebook group, CFA community group. We're getting a couple from our YouTube, a couple from our Facebook page. So it could just be where you're accessing the video, which of those channels you're accessing it from. I think that's what's happening. So yeah, sorry about that if you're missing a bit. Yeah, we're streaming to 3 separate sources actually, so we can see it all here in one place, but you guys can't necessarily, I guess. But that's why we're trying to throw it up so people can see. Yeah, I don't know. It's 34 minutes in, Steve, and is that good? Oh, Steve's frozen. Uh-oh. I thought he was just sitting real quiet, reflecting with his eyes closed. Oh, he's gone. Well, it's just me now. I guess that's it for today. Yeah, check us out next week for Lance and Steven in the morning. And Steve's back. You died on us there, Steve.
It said my internet disconnected, and now it's
yeah. I thought you were just real restful with your eyes closed.
I am done with this. It's time to say goodbye.
Time to say goodbye. So thank you all. We'll be back next Thursday with some more fun stuff. Newfie phrase of the day for sure. Again, yeah, please, if you're watching this well after the fact, feel free to keep commenting and asking us questions and stuff. We'll interact. Yeah, we just wanted to do this because we wanted to create a fun space for just connection and community, and without it being all couched in like having to have a sermon or whatnot. And hi, Debbie. Late to the game, but hi.
There's no agenda. We had a couple of talking points and just Steve and Lance being us.
That's right.
Yeah. So, all right.
All right.
We're gonna do the tagline going out. You think we can nail it going out?
Let's see. 3, 2, 1.
Lance and Steve in the morning. No, totally fooled it. We got to figure out our timing way better. That's terrible.
All right, goodbye, everyone. Have a great day.